As promised, I have Mr. Lannie Corbin, our city manager from the city of Niceville, on stage. They are also sponsoring our breakfast this month. Welcome, Lannie. How are you today?
Doing real good. You getting ready for some fried mullet for breakfast?
Amen. Fried mullet and cheese grits.
That's it. I might throw in something healthy like a piece of fruit or something like that.
I don't know why you do a thing like that. Always great things going on in Niceville. Tell me about some city projects you got.
Well, we have been working with the state to get a grant to buy some additional land at Turkey Creek.
Wow, really?
You know, there's about 9 acres behind the old Hardee's that closed down years ago.
Uh-huh.
We're trying to get that. We're trying to get some land between College Road and the reservation, which would put us from John Sims Parkway all the way up to the reservation with the park.
That would be awesome.
I have some great plans for the 9 acres on John Sims, amphitheater, maybe some tennis courts, but the plan's in the making, and we did get approved for the grant.
Yeah.
Now it's a matter of closing out the property.
That's fantastic news. You know, I tell people all the time, you don't need blood pressure medicine if you'll just end your day, Turkey Creek, and take a walk. I promise, by the time you get back to your car, your blood pressure will be about 10 points lower than it was when you started.
As long as you don't dive in the creek.
Yeah, that might wake you up a little bit.
Yep.
We got some new housing developments going on too, don't we?
We do. The gentleman before me talked about some of them. We got Hawks Landing finally got started and doing a great job there. The Preserve, Swift Creek Plantation, Swift Creek, South Palm. We're developing 2 new subdivisions down there. It looks like a good year. Last month we sold 13 building permits. That's this time 3 years ago. I think we sold 1.
I know. Well, I think we didn't do 13 all year.
So everything's really picking up and looking great. Our commercial development along John Sims is picking up. Home Depot has expressed interest and come in and looked for some numbers on impacts and those sort of things.
Really?
So Walmart on one end and Home Depot on the other end.
That would be fantastic.
I thought we'd arrived when we got McDonald's back in the 70s, and now we got a Walmart. Can you believe it?
A Walmart, Chick-fil-A, and possibly a Home Depot. And of course the bypass is just rocking right along too, isn't it?
It is. It's should be finished in about a year and a half. The big issues are crossing Turkey Creek and a couple other small creeks.
Yeah.
I don't know the impact yet on Niceville. I think it's going to be a positive thing. It puts us in a position to develop that 1,100 acres of land that we annexed a couple years ago from the Ruckle estate.
Sure.
That's a planned community, a walkable community, golf cart community. It's going to be great. It's going to be 2 major exchange, one on the north end and one on the east end. And that's as big as Blue Water. So potentially Niceville will be in the driver's seat for development for a long time.
Yeah, I think you and I talked about that a little bit, but I think it's going to open up a wonderful corridor for some businesses.
It will. A lot of the businesses are concerned about what the impact the traffic is not going to have. But you know, when they built the road from the 123 bypass, I had several business people saying that's going to hurt us. And can you imagine all that traffic coming through that town?
Yeah, it didn't change much of anything, did it?
No.
And fireworks this time of year are always a topic of conversation. Of course, the chamber did it for many, many years, and the city of Niceville's taken it over. Tell me how that's going along.
It's doing great. We put a committee together about 2 years ago now. This is our 3rd year. Yeah. And got it going. We've raised some money, and we want everybody to bring those cans in and recycle those cans. We've got several different ways of raising money. We're going to have a Boston butt sale in a couple of weeks. We're going to have a steak dinner. We plan on we're building our own barge. It's 40 by 100. It can be used for things other than barge, like parties and it's got a lot of flexibility to it.
What a great idea, because that has always been the Achilles heel for our fireworks.
It is. You know, we're spending $5,000 to $8,000 a year on the barge. I said, well, let's take that money and put in our own barge, and it's going to be quite a barge.
Really?
Right now, we're putting it together down at the new marina, North Light. Yeah. And when you get a chance, drive by and take a look at it.
There's actually going to be a multi-chamber function there this month, so we'll all be down there. All be down there and get a chance.
We'll have to show it off.
Yeah, I know, that would be fantastic. And we could do it. We can rent it for parties. There's an idea. I have to write that one down.
Yeah, we're going to have a gala event, we call it, and invite some people down. And It'll seat about 100 people. We're gonna have a little dance band down and on the water.
Oh, how cool.
So that's gonna be great.
A very, very good idea. Now, you mentioned the Turkey Creek property, but is there any kind of timeline on that? I know you're working with the state, so it could take a minute or two.
It could. The state comes in and assesses the property to see the values are like the values that they are for sale, and they'll work those out. And once that's worked out, the grant goes through. We get the property, hopefully, and then we set up a plan to develop that property. The property north of College Road all the way to the reservation, that's going to be left sort of intact. Yeah. With some trails, some primitive camping and those type of things. But the property on on Johnson's Parkway could be a real plus for us. That area through there could stand some improvement anyway.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's a fantastic idea. Community Redevelopment Agency, what's that about?
Well, there's some areas in Niceville, older areas that we'd like to address. Community redevelopment really is, it freezes tax levels, and anything above that as you develop it goes into a trust fund to provide infrastructure if needed, sidewalks, new traffic lights, new street lights.
Sure.
Encouraging businesses to either remodel, tear down, rebuild along Johnson's Parkway. We've identified several areas. It's still a month or two away from fruition, but the council did pass the first stage of that.
That is a great vision too, because I think that one of the things that'll pull people off that bypass is before they hit Destin, they'd like to come into, Niceville and get a little bite to eat. And
if you come into Niceville, you're looking at the water, and there's some areas along there that can be improved.
Absolutely.
So we got a lot of natural beauty that we'd like to take advantage of, and maybe some new development come out of it.
Well, you always surprise me. It seems like just when I think we about did it all, there's always something else coming down the road and something else moving on. And, I have to say a majority of the reasons that I absolutely love this area belong somehow to the city of Niceville and all the hard work you guys do.
We're so lucky. Our girls softball team lost the state tournament by 1 run. They won it last year.
Wow.
The golf team was #1 in the state this year. Our bands, bands and choral groups are always top in the states.
Yes.
Academically, it speaks for itself. But #1, Niceville was chosen by Bloomberg as the #1 town in Florida to raise children. So we're real proud of that.
Absolutely, and the educational opportunities. And as an employer, I have to thank you, because it's nice to get folks that have come out of the Niceville school system. They're well trained, and there's just a basic level that they've reached, and you don't have to worry about the small stuff. Lannie, I do appreciate all that you've done for our community. I know your footprints are all over it in the city of Niceville, Lord. The parks and all the great places we have to enjoy life in paradise. And
I've had a lot of good folks to help me on the way. So.
Oh, I know you got a hard-working crew, and we'll look forward to some mullet and cheese grits and maybe a piece of fruit if there's any there.
You might even win a door prize. You never know.
Hey, you just never can tell.
Right.
Thanks a lot, Lannie. Appreciate all you do. Please stay tuned. Up next, we'll have our military affairs folks, and they're going to tell you some things that are cooking in our chambers. So don't go away.